Alright, so the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer dropped a week ago, and I have to say that I am very excited for this movie. I'm a big Godzilla fan, so I'm definitely Team Godzilla, but even if he doesn't win, I'm still super hyped. We got giant monsters fighting, what's not to love? Anyways, today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the trailer and some stuff I hope the movie will do. I just want to say this won't be in-depth analysis. There are already a lot of channels who've done videos on this stuff, so I just want to show my thoughts and predictions about the movie, nothing too in-depth. Firstly, I want to start out with the first reveal of the trailer, which is Mechagodzilla. What I think is most likely going to happen is that Kong and Godzilla will fight for a bit, have a bit of a skirmish, but then they've got to team up and fight Mechagodzilla, the big baddie who's being controlled by Apex. Now, many fans currently think that Godzilla in the trailer is actually Mechagodzilla in disguise. Now, this theory does have some merit, since in the Showa era movies, Mechagodzilla originally did disguise himself as the real Godzilla to wreak havoc. I don't think that this is the case in the new movie, however, because it would be a little cheesy for modern audiences if a huge giant mecha robot was wearing a skin suit to disguise himself. I think what's really going on here is that Godzilla is going after Apex facilities, which has some evidence since on the board that shows up later in the trailer, we do see that Godzilla's attacks have some sort of correlation to these Apex facilities. Also, can I just point out that Godzilla went into the middle of Africa to attack Apex facilities? You know, this seems to be a lot of dedication for a creature whose home is the ocean. So why would Godzilla trek all the way out deep into the mainland? Well, this brings me to my next point, King Ghidorah's head. Now, if you'll recall, in the post-credit scene of King of the Monsters, we see Charles Dance's character, Alan Jonah, purchase the head of King Ghidorah. Now, I think Jonah might be teaming up with Apex in the film to use this head to somehow help with the development of Mechagodzilla, or perhaps to even control Mechagodzilla. Now, when Mechagodzilla is activated for test runs and whatnot, Godzilla senses this Alpha Titan's brain, and he'll go after it. So what I'm thinking is that every time Godzilla attacks the Apex facility containing Ghidorah's head, they'll move it to a new one. And from here on out, Godzilla just keeps following the head to each Apex facility, destroying each one as it goes. I'm sure it'll all be explained in the movie why Godzilla is attacking them and such. But anyways, let's move on to the next scene. Now in the next scene we see Kong waking up on a boat and he's looking at the cuffs keeping him on the boat. I think Kong easily could have broken free here, but he's staying on the boat willingly. This is great, you know, it shows that Kong is intelligent. It'll definitely help the audience to sympathize with Kong when Godzilla curb stomps him. Now, in the next scene, we see Godzilla swimming right through the ship. This is a change of pace for Godzilla, since in the 2014 movie, Godzilla actually went under the ships. You know, he didn't cause any harms until he was provoked. It's a nice way to show his aggressiveness. We also see that the humans launch 2 missiles at Godzilla, which aggravate him. He uses his tail to swat the fighter jets out of the sky. Now, this scene somewhat reminded me of Shin Godzilla's first form, where his tail was flailing about in the air. I don't know if this parallel is intentional, and even if it is, I really don't see the significance in it, so let's move forward. Okay, I really like this scene where Godzilla has to crawl onto the aircraft carrier. The movement of the monsters looks a lot better than it did in King of the Monsters, where the movement speed was sometimes inconsistent. In the trailer, we see that Kong is shown to be faster than Godzilla. Here he gets a punch on Godzilla, he also pushes him off the trailer using his weight. I think this is fine, since Kong needs all the advantages he can get to fight Godzilla. It looks like this is going to be the first encounter between Godzilla and Kong during the movie. We know that they're going to fight again in Hong Kong for the final battle, so they're both going to survive this encounter. What I'm curious is how are they going to get Kong out of the ocean? The ocean is Godzilla's turf, and I don't think he'd let Kong get away that easily. So I'm quite interested to see what they'll come up with. Now, our next scene of interest shows what appears to be a control center for Mechagodzilla. The screen behind Ren Serizawa, played by Shun Oguri, who was probably the son of Ken Watanabe's character, shows a cybernetic body of what appears to be Mechagodzilla. We can't see the full text, but I think what's shown on the screen is probably battery systems, maximum charge. Why Ren Serizawa is connected to Mechagodzilla, I can't really say. I just hope the movie doesn't pull something cheesy like he created Mechagodzilla to fight Godzilla, the creature that his father had to sacrifice for. Anyways, let's move on. Here we see Godzilla in a well-lit city. I believe this is Hong Kong, and it looks like it's going to be the location of the final battle of the movie. The lighting looks incredible, even though it's a nighttime shot. And in general, the lighting in this movie has been much better compared to that of the two previous films. Now here we see Godzilla just completely annihilate some buildings. This doesn't really tell us too much about the plot, but I really like the cinematography. I hope the rest of the movie also has some nice shots of the buildings just crumbling down. This movie is about giant monsters, but I also want to see these buildings fall during their fight. The scene in King of the Monsters where Godzilla pushed Ghidorah through a building was incredibly cool, and I hope to see more like it. The next few shots show us that Millie Bobby Brown and Julian Dennison's characters are trying to find out why Godzilla is acting suspiciously evil. I was somewhat turned away by this part of the trailer. I really hope that the kids doing their own side quests during the movie doesn't take the focus away from the monster fights or the story. Anyways, let's move on. Now, in the next few scenes, we see Kong inside of what appears to be the Hollow Earth. Now, in the MonsterVerse, the Hollow Earth is what the pockets of air inside the Earth are called, and these air pockets sustain life and have their own ecosystems. It appears that the humans follow Kong, or maybe they even lead Kong inside the Hollow Earth. In this shot here, you can even see the vehicle that they're using to go in the Hollow Earth. There are already a few monsters inhabiting the Hollow Earth, including warbats. In the trailer, you see Kong fighting two of these warbats. This also looks like the location where Kong will find his battle axe to bring into the final fight with Godzilla. It's important to note that his axe uses a dorsal plate of Godzilla, or perhaps one of his ancestors, as its blade. This explains why later in the trailer, Kong is able to absorb and redirect Godzilla's atomic breath. Kong is also seen fighting some more flying monsters, which are called Hellhawks, on their article on Wikizilla. I've linked that in the description below. What's interesting here is that he's standing on a glowing painting of sorts of Godzilla. I'm not quite sure what the importance of this is, but I think it might have something to do with the ancient war between the Kongs and the Godzillas. Now, the next scene does provide some details about the plot. It shows Millie Bobby Brown in the same sort of control room that Ren Serizawa was in earlier. This tells us that Millie Bobby Brown's character probably finds out about Mechagodzilla, and in this scene she might even be watching a camera feed showing the destruction that Mechagodzilla is causing, or whatever evil things it's doing. Now, the trailer ends with a nice money shot of Kong using his battle axe to absorb and attract Godzilla's atomic breath, and he uses that energy to completely smack Godzilla in the face. I think that Godzilla might be knocked out or something from this attack, but definitely not dead. This might be Mechagodzilla's chance to swoop in and do whatever nefarious acts Apex wants it to do. Well, that's all for the trailer. Everything looks great. I just hope the movie can balance the humans and the monsters. I definitely don't want the humans to interrupt the monster battles like they did in the past movies. One thing that doesn't really show up in the trailer, but I hope they do well, is the sound design. Godzilla King the Monster has had beautiful sound design, and I really hope they recreate that here. Bear McCreary used the old themes of the monsters and used them in the new themes as well. It was just really good. It respected the originals while doing something on its own. I hope Godzilla vs. Kong does the same thing here. Judging from Kong's roar, I think they're on the right track. Well, that's really all I have to say on the matter. And to celebrate the release of Godzilla vs. Kong, I'm going to be building a 1-to-1 scale model of Godzilla in Minecraft. Let's take a look how it looks so far. That's all I got. Anyways, if I get more views and likes and whatnot, I'll also try to build a scale version of Kong, although that might be more difficult since I don't really have a figure to go off of. I'll also be reviewing all the movies in the MonsterVerse, so be sure to look out for that in the upcoming weeks. Once I'm done with those movies, I will review the original King Kong vs. Godzilla on the weekend before the release date of Godzilla vs. Kong. Well, anyways, I've got a lot of work to do for this channel, so I gotta dash. If you want to discuss anything further, feel free to leave some comments down below. Like and subscribe to help support the channel, and I'll see all of you later.